Question 2, unit linked products. A life office is planning to issue a new series of 3-year unit linked endowment policies. Two designs of policy are under consideration, both having level annual premiums of 1000. So type A is 85% of the first year premium and 101% of each of the second year premium is invested in units, and on surrender the bid value of units allocated is paid. For type B, 95% of each premium is invested in units, and on surrender the bid value of units allocated is paid less a penalty of 10% of total premiums outstanding under the policy. So surrender penalty will be taken from the policy holders. There is a bid offer spread in unit values, the bid offer price being 95% of the offer price. A fund management charge of 1% of the value of the policy holders fund is deducted at the end of each policy year. So these are the values. Let us note it down. So for type A we are doing here. So let's write down type A. Type A, the premium is 1000. Allocation rate 1 is 85% of the first year premiums and 110% of the subsequent years AR2. And then we have surrender value is this, bid offer spread is 5% and management charge 1%. Then death benefit, which is payable at the end of year of death, and maturity value are equal to the bid value of the units allocated. So this is bid value, which is the fund value. Surrender assumed to take place at the end of each policy year. Office expenses in respect of each policy are 100 and 30. So initial expense is 100 and renewal expense is 30 for the consecutive years. Dependent probability of surrender at each duration. So surrender probability AQXS is 5% and AQXD is given to us as 1% for mortality. The non-unit fund is assumed to grow at 7.5% per annum. So non-unit 7.5 and unit growth rate is given to us as 7.5%. Both are equal. They've told us to calculate the value, unit fund values at the end of each year, assuming that the growth in unit value is 7.5% and hence the maturity proceeds. So for each type we need to calculate the unit fund value. So first for type A, let's calculate the unit fund table. So unit fund table, first year, then premium, allocated premium, cost of allocation, fund value at beginning of year, fund value at end of year before management charges, management charge, and fund value at end of year after management charges. Okay, 3-year unit link policy, premium is said to be 1000 for each year. Allocated premium is 1000 into the allocation rate, which is fixed 85%. For next year it is 1000 into 110%, which is fixed. It was 101% and not 110, sorry, 101%. Okay. Cost of allocation is allocated premium into 1 minus bid offer spread. So again bid offer spread is fixed. Fund value at the beginning of the year for first year, this is the fund value at beginning of the year. Okay. Fund value at the end of the year before management charges is this value into 1 plus accumulated value with the unit growth rate, which is 7.5%. Management charges is 1% of this. So this is the management charge, which is fixed. And fund value at the end of year after management charges is negative, difference between the two values. Next, fund value at the beginning of the year for second year will be 959.5 plus 859 with this, and then we will just drag down each of these formulas. to get our answers. Okay, so these are the fund values for our type A. Similarly, we'll do for type B. I'll just copy this sheet and make the necessary changes because there is no major change for type B. All other things remaining constant. Only change is the allocation rate, which remains. There is no allocation here, and we just drag this down. So this value changes, and these are the fund value at end of the year after management charge. There's no this, and just write type B on top. Okay. Hence, calculate the maturity proceeds for each policy type. So, maturity proceeds for each value type is fund value of the units at the end of the year. So, fund value at the end of the year is this. So, these are the maturity proceeds. Next is calculate the net present value of profit that is expected to arise under each policy type using a risk discount rate of 10%. So we need to calculate the net present value. For net present value, we need the non-unit fund table. So first for type A, let's calculate the non-unit fund. So non-unit fund starts with year, which is 1, 2 and 3. Then we have our premium minus cost of allocation, expense, interest, expected death cost, expected maturity cost, expected surrender cost, management charges, profit vector. So here premium minus cost of allocations is this, premium minus cost of allocation. Okay, then you have your expense, which is first year it is 100. Second year it is 30, renewal expense. Interest is equal to this minus expense into I, which is non-unit interest rate. Expected debt cost is the fund value of units is paid, so all of these will become 0. All of these, for all of these, this value is 0. Since the bid value of units are payable. Management charge we'll get from above. And then the profit vector is minus expense plus interest minus cost plus management charge. So this is my profit vector. And then for net present value, we need to calculate profit signature, and for profit signature, we need survival probabilities. So first, dependent survival probability we'll calculate. So this is a dependent survival probability. So for dependent survival probability, since our value is for AQXD is 1%, so 1 minus AQXD minus AQXS will give us the dependent surrender probability. We'll fix the E5 and E4. After we get survival probabilities, we need to calculate T minus 1 AQXD, APXD, T minus 1 APX. So for T minus 1 APX, first value always remains 1, which is 0 PX, since 1 minus 1 becomes 0. Then it is 1 into this and cumulative going down. So if you see, this is basically 1 APX, 2 minus 1. So for 1 APX, we have 0 APX into 1 APX. And then we have 2 APX. So this is 1 APX into APX plus 1. Okay. And then once we have a T minus, we get a profit signature. Profit signature is profit vector into T minus 1 APX, and then discounting factor, risk discount rate in the sum is given to us as 10%. So equal to 1 plus this discount rate to the power of minus time, and then present value, which is equals to profit signature into discounting factor, and then a sum of all these values. So this gives us a value of 150.4032. Okay, this is my net present value for type A. Similarly, again, I'll just, since we are doing type B again, Control C, I'll just make the necessary changes again for type B, because I don't have to make the table again then. This becomes 95%. This is not there, and dragging this formula down. So here we have our premium minus cost of allocation. Expense remains same, interest rates remain same. Okay, expected debt cost is again not there, surrender cost is not there, maturity cost is not there, but management charges are there. These are the management charges, which are the same cells which we have gotten. Profit vector, before the profit vector, if you see for type B, there is a surrender penalty charge which is being taken by the company. Surrender penalty. The surrender penalty says 10% of the total premiums outstanding for that year. So expected surrender penalty we are calculating. Okay, we'll multiply probability also with this. So we have 10% of the total premiums outstanding. So for year 1 there are 2 premiums outstanding. So for instance, there are 3 premiums, and there is 1 premium which has already been paid into 1000 rupees premium value, and into the surrender probability. If the policy surrenders, then only will the surrender penalty will be charged. Okay, so these are the values. So for first year it is 10, for next year it is 5, and for the third year it is 0. And then in profit vector, this value gets added because this is a penalty which is charged by the company. So with the company, this value will get added. Just plus this value and drag it down. Okay, once you drag this down, other things remaining the same because there is no other changes, and the profit vector and the net present value for this is 160.0426. Okay, so this was the sum when we have surrender penalty. Surrender penalty always gets added up, and we need to always calculate first the survival probability, which is APX, and then T minus APX for profit signature, and then the present value. And it has to be a dependent probabilities both. If independent probabilities are given, we first need to calculate dependent probabilities and then do the sum. Okay, moving on to the next question. Question 3. Craig, aged 40, buys a 40-year unit-linked endowment policy under which level annual premiums of 1000 are payable. 75% of the first premium and 105% of each subsequent premium is invested in units. There is a bid offer spread, and bid offer spread prices being 95% of the offer price. Fund management charge 0.75%. The death benefit is payable at the end of year of death is 3000 or the bid value of units if greater. Maturity value is equal to the bid value of units. So first, again writing down entire thing, 40 years age premium. I'll just copy my, I'm not writing the entire thing, just copying this so that it saves time. So my premium is 1000, my allocation rate says 75%, allocation rate 2 says 105%, bid offer spread remains to be 5%, management charges is 0.75%. okay, and then we have death benefit. Sum assured is 3000 here, so we need to have a sum assured here. Sum assured is 3000. This has to be a number, otherwise it's wrong. So 3000 is my sum assured, and then insurance company incurs expenses of 150 in the first year. So this is 150, and then 75, and the 75 are renewal expenses and 25 and other ones for the second and start. Okay, so 75. The mortality probability QX is assumed to be 0.01. So again 1% is the mortality probability. There is no surrender in this case. Withdrawals may be included. Assume that the unit growth in the unit fund value is 5%. So unit growth rate is 5% here. The non-unit interest rate is also 5% here. Okay. And insurance company holds unit reserves equal to the value of units and 0 non-unit reserves. Calculate the expected profit emerging in each policy year. So there is no reserves which are being kept. We need to calculate the expected profit. So the normal, and this the risk discount rate is not needed because we don't need the NPVs. So we have our allocated premium to be 1000. This is 750 in the first year. For second year, it is 1000 into 105%. And this is a 4 year. So increase your column by 1. Drag down your values. Okay. Cost of allocation. These all values should change. Okay, so we have our 4092.14. Here you do not need your highlighted values because they have not asked for proceeds. For non-unit fund premium minus, again you should increase one column. Okay. For expenses they have set 150, 75 and 25. Fix this. Interest drag down, which is -1, remains the same. Expected debt cost will change. Expected debt cost will become maximum of sum assured, comma fund value. Sum assured, fix it please, comma fund value. Minus fund value. This I had taught you all in the first question. So this is my expected death cost. This is my death benefit and there has to be. So this is my death benefit. Now we'll calculate mortality probability which is given to us. So mortality probability is 1% in all the cases. So if I multiply this with the values, mortality probability into death benefit, this gives me EDC. Okay. For maturity benefit, expected maturity cost is obviously 0 because there is no value for maturity. Bid value of the units is paid. For management charge, we'll just pull the values from top for the 4 years. Okay, and expected, there is no surrender, so this column will not be there. Profit vector, now we'll calculate, is premium minus expense plus interest minus debt cost minus maturity cost plus management charges. So this is my profit vector. Once you've got the profit vector, we do not need the NPV. They have not said us to calculate NPV. So you not need this. So this was the first part of the question when you need to calculate the profit emerging in each policy year, which is this. Next part of the question, calculate the revised profit emerging each year such that the office sets up non-unit reserves to ensure that the expected profit emerging in the second and subsequent policy years is non-negative. Okay, so we'll copy this sheet as it is and we'll now calculate the reserves for the policy for second part. So for the reserves, for your reserves to be calculated here, the first thing is we'll check for negative values from below. Okay, so when you check for negative values from below, this is positive, so this will not be there. There will be no value here. We just put a value. You can leave it a blank also. Okay, for here, for first negative value, it is always negative with a minus sign of cash flow divided by 1 plus I. I is of the non-unit growth. Okay. So this formula is fixed. The first negative cash flow will be minus of cash flow divided by 1 plus I. This has to be whatever value you're getting, this has to be this only. Okay. Once you get this, for the next year onwards, for the previous year onwards, this will be maximum of the reserve which we have calculated, which is in K20. If you see, if I remove this value 2.09, so maximum of 2.09 into survival probability, which is APX. So 1 minus mortality probability. Okay, survival. Okay, which has to be APX. So here, since there is no other decrement, so we are doing 1 minus this. Okay, minus of cash flow. Minus of cash flow, which is very important. Whole divided by means the entire thing. Put a bracket in front of this also. Divided by 1 plus I. I is non-unit growth. Comma 0. Maximum of these values. So what we are doing, we are basically taking this reserve, and company will maintain this reserve only if the policy holder is alive. Okay, so if the policy holder is alive, the company has maintained this reserve and it has taken out that cash flow for that year and discounted it back to bring it back to the beginning of the year. Okay, and 0 if it is negative, then we have the value 0. If it is positive, we get the reserve. So here we get the reserve, and this value has to be number 72.73. Okay, and then you just pull up this formula. How do you drag this formula up? Like this. So you see, you get a value 0. These are called zeroizing. When my positive is there, I don't need. For negative values, which need this. So these are my opening reserves. These are my opening reserves for the company. This is how you calculate your reserves. And once the opening reserves have been calculated, they have told us to calculate the profit again. So opening reserve, closing reserve is equal to the diagonal of this cell. Control D. Then we calculate the CIR, cost of increasing reserves, which is closing reserve into APX, again 1 minus mortality. Okay. Closing reserve into APX minus opening reserve into 1 plus I. I is the non-unit growth rate. Okay, this is done, and now cash flow is equal to new profit vector, revised profit vector is equal to the original profit vector minus the CIR. The original profit vector minus. If you see from the original profit vector, what we've done, when we maintain reserves, the company's negative cash flows become zeroized. So this is called zeroizing. When you're in a new profit vector, the negative cash flows become 0. Okay. So when we get this new profit vector, and then again the same process, you can calculate profit signature, and in PV if asked in the question. This question does not ask, so we will not calculate. Okay. That's it.